There are moments in a sports career that go beyond the scoreboard, beyond the rankings, beyond the tournament draws and the serve percentages, and the post-match press conferences. There are moments that belong to a whole country, and what happened at Nike Fort Taguig, with Filipino fans pouring into that space, voices rising, cameras flashing, hearts beating with pure, uncontainable joy. That was one of those moments. Alex Eala did not just meet her supporters that day. She walked into a room full of people who had been carrying her with them through every early morning alarm, every live stream from thousands of miles away, every prayer whispered by Filipino families who had learned to love tennis because of one young woman from Manila. Think about what it means to grow up in a country where tennis was never the loudest sport in the room, where basketball echoes through every barangay, where boxing carries the name of a legend etched into history. And yet, here comes a young Filipina, stepping onto the international stage, earning her place on the WTA Tour, competing on courts that have hosted the greatest names the sport has ever seen. And now, the crowd goes wild, not at a Grand Slam, not on center court, but right there in Taguig, in front of her own people, in the country that never stopped believing. Filipino fans around the world understand exactly what this fan meet represented. This was not simply a promotional event at a retail location. This was a celebration of something far bigger, proof that a young Filipino athlete can compete at the highest level of professional tennis and come home to a reception that belongs to champions. The energy at Nike Fort Taguig, by every measure of what gatherings like this produce, was electric in every sense of the word. Supporters of all ages showed up. Young girls clutching rackets they have only just begun to hold. Families who study every WTA draw like it is scripture. Overseas Filipino workers who watch her matches from different time zones, silently hoping, quietly believing, sharing the results with each other at odd hours of the night. They all came to see one person, Alex Eala. And what makes this moment even more powerful, even more cinematic, is what came next. The presidential palace. When a Filipino athlete earns recognition from the highest office in the land, it sends a message that reaches far beyond the sport itself. It tells every young Filipino with a dream, every kid practicing their backhand in the afternoon heat, every junior athlete who has ever been told the international stage is not built for people like them, that there is a path, that it is real, that their country will notice, that their country will celebrate. This is the deeper dimension of Alex Eala's journey, and this is why the recognition at the presidential palace carries a weight that no ranking point alone could ever carry. Now let us talk about why she deserves all of it, because this is not simply a story of popularity. This is a story of work. Relentless, patient, disciplined work. Alex Eala's development as a WTA competitor has been methodical and deeply impressive. She built her game from the junior circuit upward, grinding through international academies and training environments that demanded everything she had. Her left-handed game creates natural complications for opponents at every level. Her serve kicks with different angles. Her cross-court forehand pushes defenders wide, and her ability to control rally depth gives her a tactical identity that many opponents find genuinely difficult to decode. She is not a player who relies on one dimension. She can attack aggressively off the baseline. She can reset under pressure. She can build points with patience and then accelerate the moment an opportunity opens. The WTA Tour is one of the most fiercely competitive environments in global sport, and the fact that she competes there professionally, consistently, with composure, is the foundation underneath everything we celebrated at Nike Fort Taguig. The kababayan who went wild in Taguig were not cheering for a name on a jersey. They were cheering for the thousands of hours behind the name, the sacrifices, the losses absorbed and turned into lessons, the mornings when it was easier to stop and she kept going anyway. But here is what this moment also means for the story that lies ahead. Recognition brings pressure. Presidential attention and the adoration of an entire nation raise the standard of expectation. And for a player still developing her ceiling on the WTA Tour, that weight can cut in both directions. It can lift her. It can fuel her. It can give her something deeper to play for during the difficult stretches of a long professional season. Or even if not managed with care, it can become noise that disrupts the process. The greatest athletes in the history of this sport have learned to take the love of their country, hold it close like fuel deep in the chest, and carry it onto the court without letting it become an expectation that suffocates rather than inspires. Alex Eala looks like a player who understands this balance. She has shown emotional maturity well beyond her years in the way she carries herself. She has handled adversity with quiet determination rather than public drama, and the way she connects with Filipino fans genuinely, warmly, without performance, tells you something real about her character that no statistic can can capture. This is the chapter that Filipino sports fans have been waiting for, not just a rising star, visible only through highlights and tournament brackets, but a real, visible, felt recognition that something historic is unfolding in Philippine tennis. Alex Eala at Nike Fort Taguig, surrounded by her people, smiling, present, grateful, real in a way that celebrity often is not. Alex Eala at the presidential palace, representing a country that has invested its hope and its pride into her journey. These are not just feel-good moments for a highlight reel. These are the kind of moments that echo through time, that inspire the next generation to believe, that make a 12-year-old in Cebu or Davao or Pampanga pick up a racket and think maybe the world stage is not as far away as it once seemed. Every young Filipino athlete watching this story unfold is quietly absorbing a message that could shape their entire life, that it is possible, that the Philippines can produce a world-class tennis player, that their country will recognize them when they do the work. That is what Alex Eala's Nike Fort Taguig moment means. That is what the presidential palace visit means. And that is why Pinoy pride around the world is louder right now than it has ever been for Philippine tennis. So here is what we want to know from every single one of you. What does this moment mean to you personally? Does seeing Alex Eala receive this level of recognition at home make you feel that the biggest chapter of her career is still ahead? Does this energy give you confidence about what comes next on the WTA circuit? Tell us in the comments. Share your thoughts. Let us hear from Filipino fans in the Philippines, from kababayan abroad, from tennis lovers everywhere who are watching this story with the same electric feeling. If this kind of storytelling moves you, if following Alex Eala's journey gives you the same goosebumps it gives us, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and ring that notification bell right now so you never miss a single update. Because if what happened at Nike Fort Taguig tells us anything about where this story is headed, the best chapters have not even been written yet.